Ah, oh, that's the dagger, people. That is the dagger straight through my heart. Listen, people, we are back live with a transfer talk. I have literally done a video maybe 2 hours ago, aged like the warmest milk you've ever tasted, man. It's just cludding and plodding down the sink. But listen, skip past the Paixão bit, go to the Isaac Schmidt bit and everything else after that, okay? First 2 minutes of the video probably is just nonsense now with this update. But what I will say is that this is the final Igor Paixao update. There is no more Igor Paixao daily. Whatever happens from here on out after this video is up to him. Marseille, Feyenoord. We are now out of it, people. Okay. It's a hard one to take. But look, what I will say, people, I'm going to give my thoughts. You know me, I'll always give my thoughts. But I got to say, there's been some overreaction. There's been some overreaction, and we're gonna get into it, of course. Of course we will, people. Sai with the super chat. What's going on? Jack Harrison is better anyway. Well, I've put it in the poll, Sai. I've said, is he gonna be one of the four options? Lord help us. No, I don't think he will be. I still think we will get someone better. I still hold fast to that belief. Isaac as well saying here, at least we showed the desire to sign someone of that caliber. Absolutely. At the end of the day, he said no to us. I only hope we have other targets similar or better. 100%. And something that someone, as I was going live, said, Tom, I'm gutted, but I can't believe I'm seeing fans blaming the 49ers for not getting Paixão. He wanted Marseille and Champions League football. Absolutely, Tom. This is not on the 49ers. They did exactly what they should have done, and that is stay in the race for a talent that would put Leeds United over the top in terms of really like fighting relegation this season. It's worth the wait. You're not going to get every deal done in 2-3 days. Those days are ones like the Bunau one. They're like the ones for Metcha. You're going to get those done in 2-3 days because there's not a lot of demand for that player. And we're probably their best option out there in the market. When you're going for Igor Paixao, you're going for someone that, as we're seeing now, is going to go to Marseille. They obviously matched the bid. I think it's like 35 million going up to 40. But he wanted Champions League football. And again, for the people that say stuff like Premier League is the league, maybe so, but Champions League and Marseille are a big club. Champions League is the big pool. Marseille are a big club. In fact, if you want to, they've probably been bigger than Leeds over the last 20 so years. We're not talking 2001 Leeds anymore. So there's a lot of factors in there. There's also that thing of staying in Europe, weather, everything else that you can consider. De Zerbi is his coach, who is known to work with goalkeepers and wingers. There's just a lot for him to want to go there. And also at this point in time, people, we're going to be, at this stage fighting relegation. So I don't see it as a desire thing on his part. I think it's more of a case of a preference for Marseille, and he's followed through with that. What I will say is that over the last couple of days, I think since that we knew that Marseille were going to ready another offer, I was starting to get a little bit jittery, and I've made that known in subsequent videos. I've been saying, man, if we can get the deal done, what's the deal? What's the holdup with Feyenoord accepting the bid? Obviously, the holdup was that Paixão really did want the Marseille move overall. So, listen, no ill will against him. I'm not going to be that scorn guy in the club that's been chasing a girl all night and then she says no and then all of a sudden she's ugly. I'm not going to do that. I know that this player was a talented player, is a talented player, and would have been an absolute game changer for this football club. But it's not to be. But now we just have to move on. We just have to move on to the next target, if there is one. Or do we move on to the striker? And that's been the question in the poll as well. What are we saying here? Bobby with the super chat here. Thank you, Bobby. Always seemed like he had his heart set on Marseille. De Zerbi is more pull. Champions League football also. And Jack Harrison, it is. I don't think it will be. I do think Jack Harrison will be leaving and we will get somebody else. But yeah, it's not. There's no blame on Leeds here, and people saying like it's the Charles de Ketelaere thing again. Rodrigo de Paul, guys, we're gonna miss out on players. Every football club, we're not unique in this. You only have to look across at Newcastle, who have literally got Champions League football this season. Champions League, and they can't get targets over the line. And they've got key players wanting to leave the club. They've got Isaac that is literally waiting for Liverpool to take him. And they're in a way better position than we are. So we have no divine right to just go out and get a player. And I always say it, the easier it is to get a player, that means the player probably ain't that great. Okay. So these kind of deals take time. But now it is who is next. And this kind of thing here. I'm glad I don't want to play who doesn't want to come here. Good riddance. I mean, you're just not going to get anywhere with that kind of attitude as well. If you're going to sign players that just want to play for Leeds, you're probably going to sign a lot of local players that are playing for Darlington and all these clubs, Hartlepool and all these. Oh yeah, I'm a Leeds United fan. I really want to play there. Well, great, but what can you offer this football club? There's plenty of players, people that sign for clubs that have got no interest in them, but they're going to get paid well. They're going to get seen. And the opportunity is great. We're no different. I always on that point, I always just try and make this clear. It's only important to us because we're fans of the football club. Of course, we want to play for Leeds United. This is the best club. But when we're talking realistically, which again people don't like when I do this, we're just another spoke in the wheel of the Premier League. It's like Goodmanson coming here. He really wanted the Premier League move. That was made very clear in his welcoming video, in his introduction interview. Premier League, Premier League, Premier League. Who's to say if Brentford had gone in for him, he would have come here over Brentford? There's nothing to say that. So that's what I'm just saying. It's important to fans. This is the number one club, but that's just not how it is in the football world. Yeah. Andy's saying already see people on Twitter saying he's not good enough anyway. Yeah, it's the scorn guy in the club thing, man. You've been chasing a girl all night, man. You got your eye on her. She says no to you. You were ugly anyway. It's just loser mentality, man. I never roll like that, but it is what it is. Nige saying here everything happens for a reason, KG. Exactly, Nige. And this is it. And I'm very disappointed, but I'm big in this what Nige says. You must follow me on Instagram, Nige. But I'm a big everything happens for a reason guy. And it's much like some of the business that we've done this summer. Siddiqui not coming has allowed probably Anton Stack to come. There's other things that we're possibly going to get done because other things have got done. Listen, this isn't the first rejection of the summer, and it probably won't be the last. But what I don't want to see as well, people, I don't want to see the club come out saying we never made a bid. Just take the L in peace. Don't get Graham Smith or Baron Cross to come out and say we were never in for Igor Paixao. Don't do that again. We've done that already this summer and we look stupid doing that. Just take the L and say we move on to somebody else. Yeah, Andy, great point here. Missed out on Max Aarons to get Bogle the following summer. Great example. Bobby here saying, but the parade video, yeah, tremendous. Oh, that popped me, buddy. That's funny. Hey, listen, why not? Let's get Isak in, man. Yeah, I'd love the gun fingers, man. Slim in the house. What's going on, Slim? 49ers will pivot to other targets, hopefully a striker next. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Ryan, we like the player. That is all. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, 49ers will move on to somebody else as they've done all summer. This is no different. Look at Milinkovic-Savic. That would have been our goalkeeper if he was willing to come, but he clearly had Napoli and staying in Italy on his agenda. We now have Lucas Perry. There's always other options out there. Now, I've got a couple up here that they're not as good as Paixão, and just purely on the basis, I don't know if we're going to get to that level again, but I hope Leeds will try and go for another, top end winger. Who knows, man? Let me see here. Lewis here saying, why can't Leeds do two things at once? Why does it have to be one position at a time? No idea. Tim Weah is going to Marseille as well, Gavin. He's made it very clear. I think his agent come out just yesterday talking about Juventus not playing ball or something like that. I'm paraphrasing there, but he doesn't want a Premier League move. He wants to go Marseille also, but his move is going to be a loan with obligation to buy next year. So they're kicking that can down the road. So yeah, and Christ is King. You've been asking for a shout out. You've made a good point here. Champions League football is a big thing. It absolutely is. Of course it is, man. The Champions League music alone could make a player go. One of those. Yeah. So look, who else does Rafa have a little brother? That's Lewis. That's funny, man. So will we now turn our attentions back to someone we've been recently linked with, Dilane Bakwa? Is that going to be somebody that could come in? Again, it's something different to what we've already got in terms of wingers. He's a left-footed player that plays predominantly on the right, which would be nice to see, just to mix it up a little bit, give us a bit of variety out there. Again, he's not on Paixão's level, but again, I'm just going to make clear none of the players that I'm mentioning are, but he could be an option to give us that 4 solid winger, movement between him, Nonto, Ramazani, and Dan James. He could be it. Chris saying Bradley Barker. Do you know how much he would cost, Chris? PSG. I don't even think he's for sale. I think he signed a new contract, but he would be expensive. I was going to say Ritsu Dome, but looking up, he did find. I think he is basically going to finalize his move to Frankfurt. But again, left-footed player off the right. Would have hoped that maybe Howe could have had a word with him, but he seems to be set to stay in Germany, so no dice there. I've mentioned him before, Davitashvili over in Saint Etienne in League 1. He could be another option, just a quicker Manor Solomon kind of player with more skill, more direct in that way. Again, not putting Manor Solomon down, just saying he's very similar in terms of like stature, body movement wise, but just a little bit with a bit more of agility. He could be an option maybe, or El Khannouss, who we've been recently linked with as well. But I think Crystal Palace are looking at him to possibly replace Eze, and maybe that move would appeal to him. But that's what I'm saying, people. There are still options out there. Leeds United have still got, and there'll be more that Leeds United have probably got in their list than I can even think of. So yeah, it's like I say, very disappointing, man. I'm disappointed because this was the cherry on the cake, man. This would have made me say, I think we survived relegation. The move would have been that serious, but we move on, man. We move on. I said bring Sinistera back. Yeah. And this has been a point been made before in regards to the Paixão move. Chelsea had the cash for Raf. As we know, they bid 60 million, which was way over what Barcelona were bidding, but he wanted Barca. And yeah, it's the similar situation. Let's have a look here. Must now be Sesko. Ryan here saying Mitrovic would have to take the biggest pay cut in history to join Leeds. Yeah, I mean, they all do, Ryan. But I think that would be more alone if we was to get him. I'm all for the Mitrovic thing. There's no link. Let me just say this. There's no link that we haven't been linked to Mitrovic. This is one that I came up with because he does seem to want to move back to England. He's been linked with a few clubs back here. I would absolutely take Mitrovic on loan. Are you kidding me? Mitrovic at Ellen Road? Oh, my God, absolutely. Adam saying here, still a very good window so far, people. Yes, so far, in terms of where we are, but the job's not done. And I said this, I think, was it today's video, yesterday's video? Guys, they're coming out so quick and fast, pause. I just forget. But, there is still work to do. We, especially with the Schmidt news today, we still need backup fullbacks. We need a striker as well for genuine competition for Peru, not Mecha. There's a few things to do. There's outgoings as well to make sure that these players don't see the pitch for us in the Premier League. Your Bamfords, Harrison, Joseph needs to be moved on as well. Get him a move and get some money into the club that way. There's still work to do, people. So even if we did sign Paixão, it wouldn't be over by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, exactly, Lee. Lee just saying here, 0 outgoings, need to move loads. We absolutely do. We haven't even got rid of, but we haven't even moved on players like Greenwood or Gelhardt. I mean, I know they're on fairly high wages, so maybe that could be the complication, but you would think they would try and arrange a deal so that they could get a move down to the Championship or wherever it may be. There shouldn't be so much delay over those kind of players, and we are deep into preseason now. I think the Championship starts back this weekend, right? This weekend. You would have thought that those two players would have hoped that they would have got moves sorted by now, but maybe we'll see in the next couple of days. Dave saying here, Ivan Toney, but we couldn't afford him yet. Again, you're talking another one I would absolutely take. And there's always scope for these kind of players to move. And maybe a couple of them do move before the window closes, just purely on the basis that this is a World Cup year. And Ivan Toney, I know he's got back into the England setup recently, but to really cement it, you would probably have to come back to England overall, maybe. You never know what will happen with Harry Kane and stuff. But But yeah, I would absolutely take Ivan Toney. The man's a goal scorer. That's what we need up front. We need goal scorers. Peru can be one, but we do need another one. Tammy Abraham has moved to Besiktas. He's actually moved this summer. Let's have a what we said. Gavin here can see us regretting the free transfer Everton offer for Harrison. Will be lumbered with 90,000 a week, etc. Yeah, I still think he'll leave, man. At this point, I do. I feel like he won't be here at the football club. He doesn't look happy, man. I know he doesn't post for the pictures or anything, but you can just tell he doesn't want to be here. And I feel like he probably can feel, the fans don't want him either. Overall, I should say. Yeah, man, Doué can't be happy in Paris, surely. I mean, how can he be happy there? It's crazy, though, right? I mentioned him like maybe before we got relegated as a prospect that we could look into, but yeah, that's a while ago now, isn't it? Embolo, yeah, I've mentioned him before. Very checkered injury history. Survived last year with I think no injuries, which is pretty good for him. But yeah, could he be an option? I don't know, but would people like that over Rodrigo Muniz at this point? Because it feels like Rodrigo Muniz is it or nothing, but it's not. Obviously, if we can't get Muniz, if Fulham don't want to sell him, they will obviously have to pivot elsewhere. So there's no news on Muniz at this point, Mark, that I can say anyway. It may change in an hour. You know how things go in the transfer window, but as of now, there's no new updates on him. Keith. Tell Rafinha not to speak to Paixão again. Yeah, I mean, we don't know if Rafinha did speak to him, but I think it was clear that he preferred Marseille, and I said before, it doesn't mean a lot, but the fact that he did follow Marseille before he'd even moved there is quite telling. it gives you a little bit of an indication. I know some people probably checking, does he follow Leeds yet? No, he didn't know, but yeah, it's done, isn't it, man? Okay, Gary just clarifying here, League 1-2 this weekend, Championship the week after. Thank you for that. So yeah. Didn't we almost sign Kvara? I'm sure we did, and it was for something like 8 million. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure we almost signed him before he went to Napoli. Pretty sure of it, man. Muniz looks like a chunky Tremendous, man. Stevie is saying we'll be fine, guys. There'll be another target on the list. Just wait and see. Yeah, we'll be fine, man. But it has to be of similar quality, Steve. That's what I would say. It can't just be anybody. And if you're looking at a couple of clubs that have had disappointing summers, they're starting to sign players where you go, really? And I even look at Newcastle with Aaron Ramsdale and go, really? You're in the Champions League. You've gone from James Trafford. They were looking at another goalkeeper. Chevalier, I think they were looking at him, but he's going to PSG, and then going for Aaron Ramsdale. There's a few of those kind of moves going on right now, and we can't afford to do that, though. Our squad isn't strong enough to do that. We have to keep on going for the next strongest option available. What are we saying? Gavin saying Elan to Southampton. Is that true, Gavin? Gavin, are you making a suggestion, or shall I look for this? Let me know. Yeah, I thought so. I remember that as well, man. We were linked with a few of those kind of like gems before they blew up. I mean, Gvardiol, he wasn't ready to leave the club he was at the time. Maybe if it was Man City coming for him, then he would have been ready, but he wasn't ready to leave then. We see what he's turned into now. But yeah, there's been a couple of them. Oh, you're wishing. Cheers for that, Gavin. Cheers. But yeah, so I think that is it, man. Let me just have a look before we go. Yeah, Newcastle just panicked. Yeah, they're having a tough time, man, and that's what I'm saying to people. We're having a tough time, but we're a newly promoted team or a tougher time. Newcastle are, pretty much established, world's richest club, and are struggling to keep hold of players and get players in. And that has been all summer. Yes, we've had a few rejections, but we're not the worst. Oh yeah. One thing I wanted to say before I look at the poll, I thank you, Slim. Tagliafico, who I did think would be a really good option for us on a free transfer. He's staying with Lyon. So we're not going to get a Lucas Perry Tagliafico reunion. He is staying at Lyon after agreeing a new 2-year contract. So that one is also done. But again, we will need a new fullback as well. So yeah, let's go with the poll. Let's end the poll on the final Igor Paixao video that I'm going to do this summer. What's the next option? The next winger on the list, 58%. Move on to the striker position, 30%. And some sickos in here said Jack Harrison on 11%. But listen, people, that is it for the update, man. I hope everyone's good. Drop your thoughts in the comments if they're sensible. Please think before you type. This is when I really find out who people are. When there's disappointing news, this is when I find out who you are. Listen, I want to take away from negativity. Over the last couple of weeks, the interaction has been brilliant, man. It's been really good vibes. Let's not ruin it with just one disappointment. Let's get over it, be sensible, and see what Leeds United do next. But listen, people, like the video before you go. Free to do, helps out the channel. See you in the next one. Peace out.